Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt, also known as the King of Armor Destruction and the Armor Wizard Zap Zap. Got a body armor test for you all today. Trying to clear out all of the level 3A soft or rigid pistol armor that I have piling up in my basement so we can get back to our level 3 plus and 4. So I have a go big or go home for you today. This monstrous 18 by 18 panel is from Win. This is a flexible 3A panel. It weighs 3.2 pounds and is approximately 13 millimeters thick or 510 thousandths. In full transparency, Win contacted me and asked to perform a demo or review on their panel. I'm not sure why they've sent an 18 by 18 other than they wanted me to get as many shots as possible on a single sample. They do offer 8 by 10, 10 by 12, 11 by 14, etc. Here at my channel, we're, blended on the heavy side of data versus entertainment. I try to throw some dad jokes here and there, but sometimes they're not very funny. So I try to stick to a lot of NIJ constants. Since this is soft pistol armor, we shoot at 7 to 10 feet. We have a Proconal Pal digital DLX that we use to capture the velocity because that is key in determining an armor's performance. We also use a giant clay briefcase filled with Aroma Plastilina #1. I think today I actually have the off-brand Plastilina clay that will do nicely for us. It's about 80 to 85 degrees outside today and sunny and humid. I'm going to probably be covered in sweat by the time I'm done today. Basically, we're trying to find the upper limits of our 3A. We're going to shoot a bunch of random threats at it. I have a spreadsheet here at the beginning that I kind of foreshadow all the threats, and we fill it out at the end with the velocity if we capture it and whether it penetrated or not. I'm not sure if I'll need all of those spots that I've marked on our plate down there, but again, per the NIJ, I want to keep our shot spacing at a fair hit standard, so that's 2 inches apart from each other. Typically with polyethylene, you can stack rounds pretty close to each other, but we want to keep 2 inches and 2 inches from the edge. Up first, I have our CZ Scorpion Evo 3 S1 SBR. This has a 7.72 inch barrel on it. We get some pretty good velocities out of the 3 9mm loads that I have here. I have L7A1, there's a 124 grain full metal jacket going pretty fast. I have our Liberty Civil Defense 50 grain all copper round, known for speed and known for penetrating types of aramid fiber. Polyethylene presents more of a problem for it. And then I have some 115 grain black tip IMI Samson loads. Pretty much the black tip just means that it's a higher pressure. I'll take that shot last, our Liberty Civil Defense second, and then our L7A1 first. We'll mark a lot of these shots on the plate, and then after a few, we'll go down and check out what they did. Pretty good velocity off that. I'll just walk these right down in the line on the right-hand side. Nice. This is where things get a little spicy for our 3A. I brought out our 16-inch ARV9 from Palmetto State Armory. It uses our CZ Scorpion Evo mags. Same shot order, IMI last, Liberty Civil Defense second, and the L7A1 first. We'll place these to the left of those last shots. And now for my 5.7 fans, we bring out our Keltec P50. This is a neat little top loading. The top of the action breaks apart right here, and we use our FNP 90 magazines. This has an 8-inch barrel. We have some very common 5.7 loads here. We have the American Eagle TMJ 40 grain full metal jacket. We have SS 197 SR, that is the sporting round, a 40 grain VMAX lead core. We have SS 198 LF, that is a 27 grain OTM with an aluminum core. There is no steel inside of it. That is a 2020 lot. All the 2019 and newer lots have a cantilever. I haven't figured out why they added a cantilever other than maybe bullet identification. And then finally we have Vanguard Outfitters Black Dragon Fang. That is a 34 grain solid copper round. Going pretty darn fast, although I think I might have gotten a bum lot because some of the velocities on it have been pretty low. We'll take that shot last. Take a couple shots of SS 198 LF. So the American Eagle TMJ first. We're just kind of walking these, you know, in a line, straight up and down. Yeah, really bad velocity on that American Eagle TMJ. Yuck. Now the SS 197. I've been noticing lately the American Eagle TMJ has not been cycling the action. Good velocity off that. Now the SS 198. Let me go check the shot placement. All right, and finally the Black Dragon Fang will be by the H on H win on the left side. And now for a somewhat rare but interesting threat in 5.7. This is factory SB 193. This is a 60-61 grain projectile. The original lots that I had were 55 grain. I think they up the bullet weight to help it cycle in our 5.7. Typically the 55 grains never have an issue in our longer barrel lengths. This bullet is kind of peculiar in that it has a bimetal jacket that attracts a magnet, but it has a lead core. Given that it is subsonic, meaning below the sound barrier, it has some kind of weird ability to penetrate soft armor, even rigid. We have a Kestrel 22 added to our P50 here. I forget how much this is going to drop at this distance versus what I have sighted in, so I'll try to place this right in the center. 1040, so we were subsonic. You didn't hear that supersonic crack from that bullet. Forgive all the marks on the plate, but I believe we have all fair hits on here. Here was our L7A1 from the CZ, the Liberty Civil Defense, then the IMI, and then from the 16-inch, the same L7A1, the Liberty Civil Defense, then the IMI. Then we went over to our 5.7. Here was our American Eagle TMJ. Here was our SS 197, the 198 shot number 1, and shot number 2. Then here was our Black Dragon Fang, and then our SB 193. There's plenty of spots left on this plate that we can throw a couple more hits on here. Although, like I said, with pistol rated armor, there's not a lot of threats I can throw at it. I mean, I can throw some Fort Scott munitions and some other things at it, but it would probably penetrate, and not a lot of people have those rounds. Uh-oh, Raggy. We have penetrations from our Black Dragon Fang, our SB 193, our second round of SS 198. Our first round did not penetrate. I'll have to double check the American Eagle. Looks like our Liberty Civil Defense from the 16-inch penetrated. This is some weird constructions. I've seen this before with this plate. They use some foam on the back as a media to help control that blunt force trauma. Then there's this rigid piece of plastic in here. Not sure what that's supposed to do. I don't know if that helps with the controlling the polyethylene from stretching too far. But we'll pull all these off here in a minute and confirm our penetrations when we do our teardown. But there goes to show you our 5.7 with the right load. Even that subsonic load is pretty darn dangerous against our soft armor. Even the Liberty Civil Defense, going fast enough, can do the job too. Before we bring out our last threat for today, I wanted to shoot 2 more 5.7 loads at it, but I wanted to reduce the velocity. So we've got our Palmetto State Armory 5.7 Rock. This has a 4.6-inch barrel. This particular gun produces the lowest velocities out of all the 5.7 guns I've tested, simply because the barrel length is the shortest at 4.6 inches versus the 4.75 from the 5.7. This is R&R Weapon Systems R37X for expanding. It's an all copper load, good at expanding like our Spear Gold Dot and penetrating to some pretty good depths in ballistics gel. Get lined up here. That velocity seems off for some reason. Let's get the second shot here. Much better velocity, right around 1900 feet per second that time. Now our final threat for our soft armor, I don't have a 44 Magnum, but fear not Jamie P. He rides me a lot in all my videos about getting a 44 Magnum. I have ordered a Desert Eagle 6-inch barrel in 44 mag to do some testing on in the future, but today I have 50 Action Express, the big guy. Now again, this is outside the purview of the NIJ. 50 AE slings heavier lead bullets going as fast, if not faster, than 44 Magnum. So I have a 300 grain Spear Gold Dot right here and a 300 grain jacketed soft point. I do believe this is an IMI bullet that they first offered when the Desert Eagle came online. I will take the jacketed soft point shot second, the Gold Dot first. In our prior testing, most panels stop this, but the back face is what becomes a concern. And this thing has been murdering my shooting bag because of the muzzle blast. Pretty good velocity off that. And now our jacketed soft point. Smoking. This is where we're going to see some real back face. Our Gold Dot shot was right there. Our JSP was there. Our two shots of R37 were there. Again, this plate is big enough that we can continue to put hits on it, especially 9mm. It is really good at stopping those type of rounds, but we'd probably get bored trying to get something to penetrate. Uh-oh, Raggy. Looks like our second round of R37X penetrated this particular plate, but both of our 50 Action Express loads were stopped. Now, if you've watched any of my other soft armor, you'll note that that 50 AE produces some pretty heavy back face. Again, this is just a representation. This guy, 35mm. This guy over here, 37mm. This particular plastic material seems to help control our back face, although I'm not sure how well this would do in a really flexible panel that you would wear all day. This might hinder some of its flexibility, but interesting. Of our 3A panels that we've tested so far, very controllable back face with the 50 AE, although this particular design let more of our 5.7 stuff through. Now for everyone's favorite, the tear down. We tear our plates apart to see what is inside of them. We've got a foam right here. This does help with blunt force trauma, but to what effect, I do not know. Typically, a lot of the higher end manufacturers use a higher density foam. This one's better than most. It's got a decent amount of thickness there. This plastic layer here, again, guessing it's to help with blunt force trauma and help keep the polyethylene from stretching too far, and just more resistance to it. We have our confirmed penetrations. We'll list those in the spreadsheet, but you know, it was the Liberty Civil Defense, the American Eagle TMJ, the Black Dragon Fang, the second round of SS-198 LF, our SB-193, and then the second round of our R37X. There's just a bunch of layers of polyethylene here. I'm not sure if the fibers or the layers are directional or if they're making them, what is it? Or if they're rotating each layer. It's really hard to see. These look like the layers are running this way, the fibers, and the same on these ones. My biggest point for better performance on any polyethylene that's soft is that we need to sew the outer perimeter, or at least sew the corners, so that the longer you can keep all of these layers together, the better it will perform. These come apart rather easily. See if we can find those big slugs here. Should be in here somewhere. Here's our SS198LF. If it deforms like this, where it pushes the front over and mushrooms over, it typically will get stopped. Here's our 9mm load that's stopped, pretty much just smushed right over. Here are our big to.50 AE loads. The gold dot actually makes it further into the panel than the jacketed soft point, maybe because it expands earlier on, but it's pretty neat at how this material is able to slow down and stop bullets. Well, there you have it, Richard at Win. I'd say your plate didn't do too bad. I probably didn't need the huge 18 by 18 panel. 2 10 by 12s probably would have better served us for our ballistic testing. But again, polyethylene is showing that it can take a lot of hits, and normally in close proximity. Only when we shot some obscure threats at them that are outside of the purview of the NIJ were we able to penetrate this particular plate. Again, I always offer constructive criticism towards the manufacturer or reseller of these plates to better their products based, again, on my experience, which is all redneck science. I have no doctorate or any kind of advanced engineering degree in any of this material science, but it's just all based on experience. We definitely need to somehow sew or contain the outside edges of these soft panels so that when they take hits, the layers can stay together, because when the layers stay together, they stop more rounds. Well, it's time for me to say sayonara and get the heck out of here. At the end of all my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who help make these possible. Number one is my Patreon and Subscribe Star fans. I have a link tree in the description below, so if you want to click that and look at any of those ways to contact me or support me, that is appreciated. Number two is Richard over at Win. Again, in full transparency, contacted me and asked for me to do a demo on his products. I like testing all different manufacturers so that we can find the best of the best, or if somebody comes out with a new material, that we can test it and see how it compares to current technology. And of course, number three is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.